Hey, good morning. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. Hey, it's Sunday. Good morning, everybody. Just having my coffee. I got something out of whack on my mic here, too. Hold on a second. Let me fix that while I'm at it. Boom. There we go. How is everybody today? Let me move over just a bit in the wrong spot. There we go. All right. And there's Ellery down below making all kinds of noise, jumping around. How you doing, noisemaker? You're right behind the mic. There you go. All right. Raini is not here right now. Raini had to go just a minute ago, run our young Rowan Claire, the 9-year-old, to watch it. You're spilling my coffee. Had to run her to the ER this morning for something wrong with her hand. A couple of days ago, she tumbled over in the kitchen on her hoverboard. Here, you're on the wrong side. I'm going to put you down. You can come up on the other side. There's too much crowded stuff over here.
I'll just leave.
Okay, you'll just leave. Bye-bye. There you go. Well, how to get the small child away? You just tell her you're on the wrong side. And so she did something to her hand, and she's insisting to us that it's broken. And we're insisting, well, it's really not broken. There'd be several things here. Let me see it. I said, let me see your hand. Of course, she touched it. She said, don't. I'm like, just let me. I said, I'll pretend like I'm the doctor. I said, can you feel this? Can you feel that? Can you feel this? If I pull on your fingers, if I bend your fingers back, and there's nothing. And she's been playing for a day and a half with it. And so now, I don't know, Steph. I don't know if it's a fracture. She wants to insist her hand is broken. Mom and Dad are saying, no, it's not broken. You probably just hurt it a little bit, sprained it, strained it, did something, knocked it up a little bit on the floor. But I don't think it's broken. I'll be very surprised if it comes back with anything other than the doctor telling her she needs to take some Tylenol for it or something. So I've done so many things like that where I've dropped to the ground or hit something, and over the course of my life, especially when I was a kid and it was made out of rubber, that's a little different. So anyway, there you go. Matt Finn, how you doing? Morning, our hardworking California dreaming sis. He says that's got to be to Audrey. Audrey, how you doing? Good to see you. Beth Kirkham, good to have you here. Yeah, your dad would offer to cut it off. I didn't say that. I didn't get that far, but I told her, hey, if I stomped on your foot, maybe you'd forget the pain in your hand. So my grandpa used to say that to me. Oh, my arm hurts. Well, if I stomp on your foot, maybe you'll forget about your arm. And so I honestly, if I thought it was broken, I would have rushed her in a day and a half ago. It hasn't turned any colors. It hasn't bruised. It hasn't even done anything. So there you go. So while I planned on being here with Raini this morning and talking about a few things, I have to go Raini less. And you know how ER departments are. They'll be there for 4 hours and she'll be home with some aspirin. So we'll see how that goes today. So Niall, good to see you, brother. Good to have you here. And all the way from Ireland, where it's 6 hours later. It's 3 p.m. And over there. And Kevin Olson, good to see you, brother. I see you way back up there that you're here. And Roger Rabbit, and Kevin's local. Kevin's not very far away. So let's see who else we got here. We got Steph. I've already said good morning to you, Steph. I like doing the live shows because I can do the rounds a little bit. And let's see, Matt Finn, Master Finn. How'd the move go? How'd your Christmas go? How'd everybody's Christmas go? Lucky Stone, good to see you this morning, brother. And who else? I think I've got everybody so far. Scott Lowry, I always miss you because I see the Scott and I think of my own name. So good to see you, brother. Hoverboards are relatively inexpensive, highly advanced tech toys. Yeah, they are. What'd you say about Bookworm Kevin Miller? Good to see you, brother. Let's see. What did I see? Something about you were saying something about hoverboards, Roger. Oh, the hospital bills and injuries they cause are not, however. That's very true. Now, my kids will zip around on those things. We don't have room in the house for a hoverboard. Kevin Olson, you've been here. You know what our house looks like. We don't have room for kids to ride bikes or ride hoverboards in the house. And yet, that's what they do anyway. We've got the long expanse of the kitchen. We've got the living room, but there's carpet in the living room. And it's tile in the kitchen. But they're going back and forth from the sliding glass door. Well, this side of it, because we have the Christmas tree there. They're going from the Christmas tree all the way out to the kitchen sink and flipping around and doing back and forth and twirling circles and stuff like that. So there's not a lot of room for much else as far as room for going up and down. They could go up and down the hall. They turn and go around the sofa and come down the hallway, but there's not much room to maneuver there. So she went down in the kitchen, hit the floor the other day. And I wasn't too worried about it. You're in Manuka, Illinois, Kevin, huh? Visiting your sister for the holidays. Well, happy holidays. Hope you're having a good time out there. Speaking of sisters, my daughter, it made me think of my daughter and I, Abby, we had a long discussion in chat last night about masks and coronavirus, and she's all worried and upset, and she's worried about me. She said her main worry in life is my health, and that she doesn't think I take good care of my health because I don't wear a mask, and I you know, and of course my daughters are also, as you have seen, it's mostly seems to be the mask wearing and non-mask wearing seems to follow the political trend, the political partisanship. It seems to be, if you're for a mask, you're usually on the left. If you're against a mask, you're usually on the right. And now I'm not against masks. I'm not for them. I'll wear them when I go out to the stores. And one of my daughters, her father-in-law is a doctor that's been part of some of the trials for some of the vaccines and looking into mask situations and all this out in North Carolina. And he insists that masks are safe. They're safer. We're safer wearing masks. Nobody will contract anything if you have a mask on. And I'm not a doctor. I can't contradict him. But I say that it seems to me that there's lots of good people on both sides that have differing opinions. And so there's still controversy. Well, you got to follow the science, my daughter was telling me. And I said, well, yeah, you follow the science, but isn't science one of those things that's constantly morphing and changing in the sense that we understand more, the more we put things to the test, the more we have and I can't even speak cogently to it right now. Not in the mode for it. Well, she wanted to be in the mode to talk about that. And she was upset with me and all of this and I said, hey, when did I ever say I don't wear a mask? I said, I wear a mask. I said, I'm not fanatical about it though. But I apparently put up some post on my Facebook yesterday that had her all upset. I put up the video of the doctor at the where was it? It was at the UMC, Maryland, University of Maryland. The doctor who got his vaccination, but it was empty. And they didn't say anything. They just showed it and everybody claps. Yeah, you got your vaccination. And yet the guy giving him the vaccine, it was already a spent syringe. And so I made comment on that. And I just said, oops, maybe put something in the syringe for the cameras next time. That was my comment. And my daughter was all over me yesterday about not wanting to wear a mask and being against masks. And I said, I didn't even say anything about masks. I said, well, you're of that mindset that believes that the virus, you're like with Trump, where he said the virus was a Democrat hoax. And I said, you're misquoting. And I said, I've answered that question for so many people and looked that up so many times. I said, that's not what he said. I said, he was referring to the use of the virus as a means for a political ends, and he was calling that a hoax. And so I said that, I think you got that wrong. And she wanted to have a debate about it. I'm like, this was like 9 o'clock last night or 8 o'clock last night or something. And I was like, I'm not in the mood for a debate about this. But then it went over into, somehow morphed into how I don't believe in global warming, or the scientists, and 97% of scientists believe in global warming, and all of this. And it went from topic to topic to topic, all the political things that I disagree with. And she's just going to stop following me because she can't stand on Facebook how I put up posts. And I said, look, if you can't handle your dad talking about stuff on Facebook and wanting to ask questions, I said, then maybe you shouldn't follow me on Facebook. And so it was kind of silly in one respect. I tried to assuage her feelings on one side, and on the other was kind of like, come on, lighten up a little bit about this. I'm not overly worried about it. I said, I have that trifecta of infectability for coronavirus. And I said, if I caught it, who knows? I may die from it. I said, so I hope I don't catch it. And I said, but what am I doing not to catch it? I said, I don't go out an awful lot. I said, when I do, I wear masks where they require masks. And sometimes I don't wear a mask at all. Sometimes I have confrontations at Target, like you heard the other day. I told you how somebody yelled at me from across 50 feet away, yelling at me to put on my mask. And I pretty much yelled back. I didn't even see the person. I never saw the person's face. And it was somebody from worked at Target. I'm like, hey, if you want to talk to me about something, don't yell at me across the room like a little kid. You can come and talk to me. Don't yell at me. And I'll put my $200 worth of items back. We were at the checkout by then. So blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. Avoid stressful situations, says Melissa. Hey, Melissa. Good to see you. So, and I'm not hurting anyone. And my daughter said that it's even my daughter's father-in-law, who's the doctor doing all the studies on this, said that if everybody wore a mask, nobody would catch it. And so you should wear a mask. I wear a mask where I have to, says Audrey. I don't have any issues with wearing one, and I don't gripe about one that doesn't. I'm the same way. And I don't get in close contact with people. I'm not up smooching women on the cheeks or men on the lips when I'm out shopping. If you want to, I don't know. Everybody seems, that's enough on that. So, Matt, I brought up, what about the science that talks about the negative effects of wearing a mask? Well, those are minimal, and it's blah, 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 blah. And it's like, look, I don't want to prolong the debate, all right? And I'm on my phone when I'm chatting with her. And I'm like, I said, look, first of all, I don't like typing on my phone. My phone's intuitive corrective type is faulty. So I have to correct every other word as it goes. It takes me twice as long to type anything on my phone. And I got the swiping, where you go like this, you just swipe around. And so I said, that doesn't work very well. And I said, look, if you really want to be in a debate, I said, I'll go to my computer and I'll start. I said, I don't keep all these factoids at the top of my head. I said, let me go look up my stuff and the people I've talked to. And I said, this is not my area of expertise. I said, nor is it yours. I said, so let's sit down. If you want to have a debate about it, I can debate you. I said, but other than that, I'm just telling you off the top of my head. I said, I'm not taking a hardcore stance either way. I said, I think it'll, and you all know. Roger says CDC has made the statement that they're not recording any flu numbers for 2020 or 2021 season. Already showing this crap will be here next year for sure. They're not recording the flu, but I've also heard the additional element to that, Roger, is that what did we have last year? Somebody look up in 2018 or 2019, what was the total cause of death in the United States due to the flu? Just to the flu. I'm not talking coronavirus. I'm talking the flu. And it was something like, I thought the last I had heard it was like 147,000 people or something. That number's in my head for some reason. Died last year of the flu. Not coronavirus, of the flu. This year, 2020, nobody's recorded as having died of the flu. Why is that? Did the flu go away? No, now it's all coronavirus deaths. So when you hear 317,000 people died from coronavirus, is that true? Well, it's complications of coronavirus. Well, what if they died of the flu instead? Nobody died of the flu this year. So anyway, I look at that stuff. I don't run a tally on that stuff. I don't have all the facts spelled out down in front of me because I'm not debating anybody about it, apparently, other than my daughter. So just use, Beth, that's exactly what I said. I said, use common sense. Just what Beth Kirkham said there. I said to my daughter last night, I said, look, you can be assured that while I think that there is some political manipulation of the numbers, that there's political usage on both sides of the virus, I said the virus became a big political tool for the election. I said, and so I push it all away. When I start seeing that much politic being incorporated into what we do with this, I said, I tend to walk away from it. And all I do, I use common sense. I said, you know what I do? I do what they told us last January. I wash my hands. I don't go out in the store and come in contact with people and touch my face. I sometimes I wear a mask. It depends on where I'm going. But I usually always have a mask or a bandana tied around my neck that I always pull up if I need to. So, and I hate masks. Niall just said that. Personally, I hate masks. They make me anxious. It's not a natural feeling, but I'm not going to face someone hassling me in a supermarket or some staff member asking me to leave. So fuck it. And I'm kind of the same way, Niall. If I put on a mask, I don't have a lot of phobias. One of my phobias, and I've mentioned this before, one of my phobias, I get a little claustrophobic about things. You put a mask on me, I start feeling claustrophobic. Halloween, I can't wear big masky stuff. I get claustrophobic. If I have clothes on that feel too tight in there, I get claustrophobic. I could break out in a sweat and rip that thing off because I don't want to get that feeling. I get that feeling I'm trapped inside something. Don't like that feeling. If I wake up in the middle of the night and the blankets are wrapped around my feet and I can't kick my feet out of my blanket, I could get frantic. And I've done that. I kick and I sit up and I'm up, I'm awake because I don't like that feeling. It's the same thing with masks for me. And somebody else will say, well, you should be okay feeling a little claustrophobic rather than die from coronavirus. Well, I don't think I'm going to die from coronavirus. Now, knock on wood, I don't like to go out there and say, I'll never get the virus because I don't think it's this and I think it's a hoax and all that. I don't say that because I don't believe it, first of all. And second of all, the minute I say that is the minute I'm going to get it and die, and those will be my famous last words. I'm careful enough. I'm cautious enough. And all of that. So, and Niall, I'm right there with you. Like I said, that woman who yelled at me at Target last week, I was like, excuse me? The place was packed, and I know you heard this story, but I'm just reiterating for those of you who might not have heard that. We're at Target. We're there for an hour and a half. I have a mask on for an hour and a half. And there were a couple of spots where both Raini and I had to pull down our masks and go, phew, I need a little fresh air. I'm not walking outside. I'm just right here in the aisle. I'm going to pull down my mask while I'm looking at this thing and breathe. Because you know what? There's nobody in front of me. They've proven a long time ago that the virus doesn't exist on surfaces. And so what's my worry? If I'm standing there in front of the book aisle and I'm looking at a book and I pull my mask down so I can breathe better, I'm not going to contract the virus. Slam the book, put it back. So here I am. I'm at Target. I'd been there an hour and a half. We got about $200 worth of stuff in our cart. And walking toward the aisle where it's all crowded up there and people are trying to figure out which aisle they are. And I had just pulled down my mask because we were entering an aisle. You know how they got those 2 tiers of aisles? Raini said, oh, the guy up front is open because he's waving us up. So we walked up, and as we're walking up the aisle, I have somebody yelling at me, an employee of Target. Sir, you need to put up your mask. I mean, that was almost the tone of it. And I'm like, I said, I spoke out just as loud so everybody could hear me, just like she meant it to be. I'm like, don't yell at me in public like I'm a child. I don't need to be shamed in public to pull up my mask. I am your customer. Treat me like one. And if you have a concern with what I'm doing or not doing, approach me and ask me about it. Don't yell at me over the crowd. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't even see her. I didn't even know who I was talking to. But I turned back and went back to unloading my stuff onto the cart, and I left. We paid for our stuff and we took off. And I did not pull my mask back up. Cashier guy looked at me, young guy. I said, probably about college age. He looks at me, he goes, like that. He goes, I don't care. And he had his mask on because he had to, because he's working there. So, you know what? If you've got a problem with me not wearing my mask somewhere, or if I've pulled it down because I'm a little claustrophobic and I need to take a breath of fresh air, don't you start yelling at me. It's like I said, if you want to get good service in a store, all you got to do is pull down your mask nowadays, and somebody will be all over you. So then you go, I just pulled down my mask so you can tell me where I can find, Phillips head screwdrivers. So, an estimated 80,000 Americans died of flu and its complications last winter. Now, would that be the winter of the disease's highest death toll in at least 4 decades, 2017 to 2018, the winter flu season? All right. So 80,000 people died. That's roughly 1/4 of what they say COVID has taken since January of this year. Now, if there's maybe 80,000 of those people that died of flu, cut that in half. 40,000 of those people died of flu. Is that the only other thing that people died of? Flu and COVID? Or did people die of other things that also had COVID? There's the big thing. Roger Rabbit says, I want badly to wear a mask that says fuck off. That's a bit more forward than my usual personality and demeanor, but I think it's appropriate unless kids are around. I do too. Raini's got the one that says Hitler demanded compliance too. She wears that. She loves that mask. I had one that said Trump 2020 on it, and I wore that around. And I don't know what's happened to that and got lost in the laundry or something. So, well, that's the thing, Matt. They aren't allowing enough time for real scientific method to prove out the data. Every TV doctor used this to gain followers, and the science has been corrupted for popularity. Boom! That's what I was saying to my daughter last night when I was talking about the scientific method and how science evolves, and how I said science is an evolving thing as well. Things we thought about science, I said the scientists of the day 400 years ago thought the world was flat. I'll bet you 97% of them did. I said until somebody proved it otherwise. And I said, now, of course, that's silly to us nowadays. It's a silly comparison. Totally different paradigm, totally different mindset. I get that part of it. But science is constantly moving. It's constantly evolving. So there are things that we do about COVID now that we didn't do 10 months ago, and vice versa. Things we thought 10 months ago that we don't think now. Like I say, 97% of scientists and doctors thought that you could catch coronavirus off of its surface 10 months ago. So, my daughter's yelling out there. I was listening for a second. I didn't know what she was yelling at. She's singing at the top of her lungs. So, watching something apparently on TV and singing. And I thought, she's the only one out there. Who's she yelling at? So Scott Lowry says, you mean the world is not flat? Fuck. Yeah, sorry, Scott. Hey, Scott, there's no Santa Claus either. So I'm going to get periodic interruptions from the little child because nobody's out there controlling her right now. And Delaney, good to see you. Happy Sunday to you as well. Yeah, I need a drink of water. I wear glasses, so most of the time I'm half blind with fogged lenses and unable to breathe. Yeah. So why would I spend longer than 15 minutes wearing one? I have to do that. I go into a store. If I've got a mask on, I got to take my glasses off because the mask, goes to here. The glasses are here. If you wear glasses and a mask, you'll see what happens really quick. Hey, Ellie, if you're going to come in. If you're going to stay out, stay out. She's running back and forth in the house, all joyful, singing, dancing. She's got to just stick her head in the office and let me know that she's singing and dancing, and then out again she goes. So there you go. That's what's going on over there with my daughter. So that's enough of that. And I wanted to get Raini's input on that today because Raini's pretty smart about that stuff. And Raini, who just came off of, she had a migraine on Christmas Day. So it was pretty quiet around here on Christmas Day. And she had the fallout of that yesterday, but was feeling a little better. She looks like she feels pretty good today. She's up. She's all done up. She's all made up and dressed nice and all of that. And I said, hey, good morning. She said, hey, I got to run the kid to the emergency room. So she may or may not be here today, depending on how long that takes. The emergency hospital's only 3 minutes away from here by car. And they're driving. So it'll only take them 3 minutes to get there. But it'll probably take 4 hours of nothing, finding out there's nothing wrong with my daughter's hand. So I would be surprised, let's put it this way, if my daughter actually has a broken hand. So, yeah, I agree with that, Matt. Kevin says, Scotty, what did you get your kids for Christmas? Oh, we got them all kinds of stuff. Well, they got the hoverboards. Let's see. Oh, the best. And I told you about this the other day. Some of you heard this already. Rowan got some coal on Christmas morning. It was the best. It was the best. Because we got the little one who believes in Santa Claus. The older one, the 11-year-old, who's like, Santa, right? I know what it's all about, Dad. And the 9-year-old who really doesn't believe, but wants to believe, but she knows it's not real and it's a fantasy that we make up at Christmas. And so she kept insisting in front of the 6-year-old that there was no Santa. And she was doing that just to get a rise out of the 6-year-old. There is too a Santa Claus. And I'm going, yeah, and there's unicorns too. I said, so shut up. Leave your sister alone. And she kept going with it. And so she got a little bag of coal. It was neat. It was a little drawstring sack that Raini found. And it had 2 little, 5 or 6 little pieces of coal inside it. And we did up a note from Santa that said, this is what you get when you don't believe in me. I'm always watching. Santa. And Rowan knew that there was no Santa. She knew that. And she got that. Raini filmed her. She wrinkled her nose and laughed and got a good kick out of it. And she still got her presents. So, oh, look, Santa left you a hoverboard in the office. So here it is. So what did I get for Christmas? I got, I don't expect a lot for Christmas as a parent. It's kind of funny. You don't think about that so much. I got Raini that cabinet, that big cabinet with the tin drawer, since it's over there. She's filled it all up. Her side of the studio is still a amazing jumble over there, in an artistic way. And but she's got that set up. And let's see, what did I get? Oh, we got her slippers too. She asked specifically, I want slippers. So I got her from the kids, got her slippers. I got, my kids got me some fun stuff. I got a a big pinwheel of Sharpie markers, these things. Because my kids are always coming and they're always stealing them off my desk. And I've got like this sitting here full of Sharpie markers and stuff. That's one of them. I got like 4 of these on my desk, varying sizes. I use those when I illustrate. I'll use these if I'm doing that style of illustration. Well, they always come, can I borrow a Sharpie, Dad? I'll bring it right back when I'm done. I'm like, yeah, you can. Then when I finally run out of them, I'm like, no, you can't. So they got me a big pinwheel. It's a spinning wheel in the box. You spin it. But it's all different colors. I don't use colors when I use Sharpies. I only use black. So I think it's more for them. But that's not in here, or I'd show it to you. What else? Oh, I got this. It's down here because it doesn't fit on this stool, but they got me this little baby. It's a heated cushion, and it's full of so you push that in. Well, it's not plugged in. That'll light up red, but it's a cushion for heated, and it's a space foam, so it doesn't fit on the round stool I'm sitting on, so that's why I'm not using it at the moment. But it's got a USB and it plugs in, so I got that for my kids. And what else did I get? Can't remember what my wife got me. That's really bad, isn't it? She might not have gotten me anything because I said, we sink our stuff and our time into the kids. And she got me something. I can't think of what it was. I know for my birthday, she took me to the hotel in Stillwater. So that was good, Kevin. But Kevin Miller, I'm talking to, answering your direct question. Oh, she got me this watch. Watching these little bracelets. I'm always wearing these and going through them and wrecking them. And so she got me that. Mostly because we were at the store and I go, oh, that's a nice watch. She says, why don't you just put it in the cart? So that's what she got me for Christmas. So I got a watch. I can tell time. And next week we're going to work on days of the week and then colors the week after that. Let's see. Anyway, Delaney, regarding your fairy guy video, I gotta have you walk through that with me because I couldn't see it. You're gonna have to point out some things to me. I saw some anomaly, what looked like stuff, but it was blurry. It was a little too blurry. I couldn't really tell what was going on there. So I'll talk to you off air and have you walk through that with me because I want to see that and see that I'm seeing what you're seeing. So let's see. So Kevin Miller, I hope that answers your question. I got a bunch of other little stuff. I got weird cologne that my daughter got me and typical dad cologne stuff, but it was an off-brand stuff. And it was in this tall, circular, cylindrical, cardboard, container. You pull the lid off and the bottle's in there. And it said, this is not just your typical drugstore cologne kind of thing. And so it's pretty cool. And so Roger, Scotty, did Raini finish the Sahara Sand Journal yet? Yes, she has. It's not up yet. Oh, well, no, I don't think she put the guts in it still. I think she just got waylaid with Christmas and all the stuff that I'm looking over there to see if I see it. Hang on a second. Let me walk over to her side of the studio and see if it's sitting over here. I do not see it. I wonder if she has got it glued together and just, oh no, it's still here. Here it is. It's not done. But yeah, this one. So yeah, you can see it's still flat. This isn't even adhered in there yet, but there it is. And that'll be the journal when it's done. So I got to paint this one for her. She put all the stuff together, and then this little scarab that you can see the colors on that. That's going to go right in the center here. And she's still got to put the book body into it. And finish off the interior stuff. And so that'll be about that thick. But those of you who don't know, this is painted to look a little bit like old stonework, crusty, cracked stonework. The scarab is going to go in the middle. And the neat thing about this is I used sand that I have from Gebel El Silsila, which is John and Maria's archaeological site in Egypt. And I've got a huge gallon bag of sand, and I took about a cup of that sand and mixed paint into it and painted that. So this whole thing is coated in, I wish you could see the details up close. There you can see some of the granules in here. So the whole thing is painted with sand mixed into paint. And then Raini sealed it so that stuff won't just scrape off. So this is actually a little piece of Egypt coming with you. And when you get this journal. So it's coated in Egyptian sand. So let me put this back. Oh, I see something else Raini got me here. It's right here. She just got this because she thought I'd like it. It's a Christmas bag. There's nothing in it. No present. She goes, I got you that because I thought you'd like that. And so it's got the Audrey, you'd like that. We believe, it says. So I got that too. And it was kind of a goofy gift, that one. So anyway. So yeah, Roger, that's there. We might do some more of those if people want them. As soon as she gets that done and the guts put in that book, she'll have that up. That's a great bag, Audrey. So let's see. What did Niall just say? FFDB. Kick ass. Although some of the lyrics are pretty juvenile. Great riffing, though. You must be responding to somebody else. I'm not sure what that is. FFDB. So, yeah, that journal is beautiful. Resonated with Carly the moment she saw it. Well, cool. Yeah, she should have that done pretty soon, Roger. Five Finger Death Punch, says Matt Finn. Living the dream, Niall. I think you like metal music, right? See, and if I've heard Five Finger Death Punch, I don't know it. So I don't know I've been listening to them. I like a different kind of music. My style is a bit more, I don't know, a bit more ethos. Maybe there's ethos in heavy metal music. I don't know. Hey, Morgan Snow. Oh, you got the one with the skull? Was that you? Because Raini mentioned yesterday that she had lost the receipt on that. She was looking all over for the mailing receipt. I think she was trying to update something or had said that you might have asked what the status was on that. And she's got the receipt with the tracking number for every single one of these she does. For some reason, when she went out and mailed that, she saved the receipt, but she doesn't know where she put it. She set it down somewhere and it's missing. She was looking for that yesterday. So I know she sent it out a few days ago, several days ago. I don't even know what day. I could almost say it was before Christmas, I know. So it was either Tuesday or Wednesday of last week that got sent out. So Morgan, if you're waiting on that one, it should be there soon, I would think. This was the one where she was telling me that the postal worker lady was really rude to her about stuff and really pushy and rude. And because Raini said, well, I've got a package here. I'm sending it book media rate. And she said something about Raini said it's a journal. It's a blank journal, but it's a book. And so I'd like to send a book media rate. You don't have to tell them that. You say it's a book. That's what I do. It's a book. It's like if I sent you out one of my books, it would cost $3.78 or something like that to send a book media rate. But it takes a little longer. That's the problem. And the woman said to Raini something like, well, they're going to crack that open and inspect it. And Raini said, I don't care. If you got to inspect it. But it better arrive the way I packaged it and shipped it. So Raini worries about stuff. She's worried about that. And I said, they're not going to crack it open. They're not going to, if they x-ray those things around, it's a book. It's a book with a skull on the face. And so I don't think so. You'll probably see it any day would be my guess, Morgan. maybe between tomorrow and the middle of the week, I think you'd be getting that. So by normal rates. Steph says, "Hey, Raini." Raini's not here, Steph. She had to run the 9-year-old to the emergency room to check out whether or not her hand's broken. I don't think Raini thinks it's broken. I know I don't think it's broken, but we can't stave off the little child just whimpering for the last day and a half about her hand. And yet she does wild, stupid things when she's not thinking about it. And then when she's sitting quiet, goes, "Oh, my hand." So Raini's taking her in just to make sure. So, oh, Raini's in chat. Oh, I see ya. LOL, I'm here. Raini says, "Hey, sweetie. I miss having you right here. I was telling everybody how good you look this morning, and you're putting on your makeup, and you're doing your hair, and all that, and then you got to run off to the emergency room." Yeah, the mail lady, there she is. Raini's talking about it. The mail lady was super rude and told me that it'd be inspected to make sure it was a book. Well, it's a book. It's just a blank one. It's a journal. So, boy, yeah, some of those people, we're going to inspect this to make sure it's a book. I'd have been right then and there and say, "Are you saying I'm lying? Would you like me to open it right here and now?" I'll open it right here and now, right on the counter with a line behind me. Let's open it right now and I'll show you it's a book. I get so tired of people. It's like, why do people out there always automatically assume you're lying or making shit up? I hate that. It's like, why don't you assume automatically that I'm not lying and that I'm telling the truth and I'm telling you what's in it? It's a journal. It's a book. No, they don't do that. Everybody always defaults to the most negative. Well, here, let's do this right here on your counter then. I'll undo the tape. You got an X-Acto blade or a scissors? I'll undo this right here, and then let's tape it back up after I prove to you it's exactly what I said it was. Sorry, Morgan, and everybody else. That stuff ticks me off, and I was mad for Raini's sake when they did that. So it's like the Book of the Dead from Evil Dead. Very cool. Yeah, it is. Exactly, Niall. Yes, this is a book. It's the Book of the Dead. It's from the devil. You want to inspect it now? Yeah, she's here. Yeah, Raini's here. I don't think I was saying anything bad about Raini. I don't say anything bad about my wife. So, hi, Dad. That's got to be Rowan. Rowan's saying hi, Dad. So Raini Roberts says Lucky Stone is not even a mod. Scotty must have tough standards. She rarely comes in. You know what, though? I'll bet you I could make her a mod real quick. Let's see. Add moderator. Raini Roberts is now a moderator. Raini, you should have a little blue wrench show up beside your name here pretty quick. Type something, Raini, and we'll see if it shows up. So you're now a moderator. And Niall says, "Hey, Scotty, I love classic rock too. I was just listening to a playlist of Creedence and Johnny Cash. I love both of them. Very bleak, Cash's last album. Yeah, Sam Hall, Streets of Laredo, etc. Yeah, that's a bleaker album than his others. Of course, why would you say that was so bleak on his part? Was it realization of encroaching death? Was it life is over? Was it the disenchantment with where life should have been in his mind compared to what it actually was? Because he was dying, says Field Guy. Well, now, if he was as Christian as he purported to be, would he be afraid? Would he be that bitter about death? And I've asked myself that before. If you have no fear of death and you think you know what the end is, where you're going, would you fear death? And I used to say, I don't fear death, but I certainly fear the means by which I will be making my exit. Let me die calmly in my sleep or suddenly, so I don't know what's happening. I don't want to burn to death. I don't want to drown. There's a lot of things I don't want to have happen to me for the mode of death. I'm no idea. I'm not religious, says Field Guy. Okay, so you're not religious. Do you fear death at all, Field Guy? Do you fear death coming? Do you fear what's after death? Do you have not fear, any anxiety, any thoughts? What are your thoughts about what's out there, field guy? What's in the great beyond? And I just picked that phrase up. I've used it before, but we watched a movie yesterday and the night before because it's a Disney Pixar movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's really very good. It's the movie. It's called Soul, Soul. And it's about a guy, and he's, I'm not racist, but sometimes it's okay to point out it's about a black guy who's a jazz musician. And it's his story about encroaching death and the beyond. And also, it deals with the souls as they're being sent to Earth to inhabit new births, new bodies. And so it's really very good. Scott Allen watched it yesterday. It's really good. There are scenes of that movie that are incredibly moving. I love the scene, and this is not giving anything away, but Scott, maybe you'll know what I'm talking about if you got the same feeling off it, when he is all alone and he's playing music on his piano and he's seeing the different scenarios in his life, and really good stuff. So if you want to watch a good movie, it's animated, but it's so well done. It's Pixar. When I first saw it on the screen, I thought it was a shot of downtown New York, down on the city street with people walking around, until I looked at it for a minute and said, this is all animated. So it was fantastic. So watch that. Soul, it's called. Oh, hi, Scott. Hey, and did you ever ask Scotty about that pendulum? Hey, ask me about it, Scott Allen. What's your question about it? I may or may not be able to answer your question, but shoot it out at me. Melissa says, hey, Raini, going for a massage this week. Can't wait. Light as a feather afterwards. I graduated in 2003 from MT school. I don't practice anymore, but do lots of energy work still. That's cool, Melissa. I like getting a good massage. It's tough getting Raini to do a massage for me. She's so busy around here and trying to get set up. And I don't know what it is with husbands and wives. It's husbands and wives generally, do they just not have time to practice their craft for their spouse? It's like Raini asks me to do a logo for her. It takes me longer to get it done because it ends up on not the bottom of the pile, but it's not the top priority if I'm doing other things. And I sometimes forget about it and stuff, but I don't know. I worked on Raini a bit the other day. Massage, legitimate massage, not guy massage. Hey, I'm touching your naked body. Let's do it. You still think that it's still there. I'm a guy. When I got somebody like my wife naked on a table in front of me, it's hard to not think that. So you have to get into a different mode. And yay for massages, says Raini, and massagers. Was your massage okay the other day, Raini? Did I get out of hand? Did I get too handsy? No, I thought I was pretty good. Seeing as I had somebody as gorgeous as my wife naked on a massage table in front of me, and I'm working on her back, I didn't do anything. I was good. I behaved myself because I wanted to get the kink worked out of her. Well, not the kinky, the kink in her back. So Raini will tell you here enough I did a good job or not. So she instructs me. So yeah, some idiots bombed Nashville. Yeah, it was a good massage. Ellery did a good job too. Yeah. Well, we can just have Ellery do it next time. Then she was good too. We got pictures of that. Ellery laying on top of Mom's back and giving her a belly massage, rubbing her belly on Mom's back. And so there you go. So I had heard, Field Guy, about the idiots at Bomb Nashville. Somebody put up a post yesterday, somebody I trust in the political realm, and he said something about that explosion in Nashville was awfully darn close to, if it was not the building where they are going through all the Dominion machines, going through all the audits of the Dominion machines. and that the fire that took place is because the bombing didn't actually do what it was supposed to do. So that's interesting. I don't know what the facts are about that. Anybody hear about that? All of those things you said about Cash, Scotty, went into that last album. I've got to, I've heard some of the songs off of that album, Niall. I've got to re-listen specifically to that. Oh, it was supposed to be an NSA hub, said Morgan Snow, where the bomb went off in Nashville. Oh, that's just a coincidence. I'm Canadian, sorry, eh? Yeah, it's amazing how much coincidence there is with all these big conspiracy theories. Oh, they're all coincidence. So that is funny, isn't it, Canadian? Sorry, eh? Wow, I never heard about that. I don't watch the news and haven't been on much, said Audrey. Social media much. Yeah, I didn't hear about it when it happened because it was like Christmas Day or Christmas Eve Day. I don't remember which, and I was just checked out. It was horrible. Monsters are real. Yes, they are. Intentional bomb meant to hurt people. Now, I did see something in the news saying they thought they were at the house of the guy who did this, but I didn't get to read it. I haven't seen much on it yet. The RV was there. I saw an article on they were tracking down an RV that was making funny locations in downtown Nashville or something. The RV put out a loud message to evacuate on a loudspeaker. Not so much a fear of death, but a regret of a life unlived. Ah, Niall, I know what you mean. That's that ties into my mantra, my whole mantra of 20 years from now, you're going to regret more of the things you didn't do than the things you did do, or the things you were unable to do. I would like Raini and I to start doing stuff together, and we get so cloistered inside here. I've had the last couple of years of not feeling well, and so haven't done much, but I would like us to do more. I would like all of us to do. My wife and I want to go do some adventurous things with my wife and go travel and see things. So we can say that we haven't had, what's the old saying? I went to the woods because I wanted to live deliberately. I wanted to take, this is, I think it's a paraphrase, if not an exact quote of Thoreau, where he said, I went to the woods because I wanted to live deliberately. I wanted to take a bite out of life and suck all the marrow of the bones of life and put to rout or to death all that was not life, so not that when I came to die, I would realize that I had not yet lived. That's very profound, Niall. It's not the fear of death, it's the fear of not having lived. So, John Lennon, life is that thing that passes you by while you're waiting for it to happen. So, not that I'm a big John Lennonist, but there you go. Something to do with the NSA data transfer station at the AT&T network. Yeah, it was AT&T and the NSA data transfer and the Dominion stuff. I saw that all rolled into one ball from one guy the other day. Field guy says, you have a track phone and they suck too. They suck also. I don't have I think I do have a track phone. It's a track phone and it's through Straight Talk. We have Straight Talk. We were all, was it Verizon or was it the other one? Another big carrier, but we did the monthly thing, you know. And then we went to Straight Talk because it was cheaper. You know, we spend $92 a month or something like that now. No, it's more than that. I think it's $92 to $95 a month for our two phones, Raini and me, as opposed to almost $90 per phone we were on the other one, if I remember correctly. What's a track phone? This is Canadian guy. Canadian guy or Canadian woman? Can't tell, eh? I can't tell, eh? So Verizon are crooks. Never have them. Well, field guy, you know everything about everything. There's so many things that they're crooks and stuff. I need to get a list from you of all the things I should and shouldn't do. What's the name of the That's the name of the company. Let's see. Field guy knowingly carries a tracking phone. There you go. Verizon are overpriced. Unfortunately, that's what I have. Yeah, we had Verizon for a long time. We got double billed from them. I'm still getting bills from them for things that I never had an account for. So Morgan Snow got a text now for $14 a month, unlimited text and calling and overseas for $14 a month. Yeah, everybody's competing with everybody, and that'll go up, of course. We pay $52 to $55 a piece for our phones every month, but Rainy gets the double thing every month to recharge the package, and so it's less money. It's like $10 less or something. So that saves us a little bit of money. And hey, you know what? I'm going to go get more coffee. So I'm going to take a 1-minute break and walk out in the kitchen, get my coffee, and I'll be right back. You guys talk amongst yourselves. And if Rainy's not talking, maybe they're already in and they're x-raying my daughter's hand to see that it's not broken. So I'll be right back. You guys do whatever you want to do. Talk amongst each other. I'll get some coffee and be right back.
Hi, Mommy.
If you can get her to talk. You got to type, though.
Hi, Mom.
Where's Mom?
I can't see her.
She'd be typing something. You wouldn't see her or hear her. But she'll be over here in the chat room when she comes in.
Face.
No, you won't see her face. See, I think even when she was talking.
No, like those things.
Yeah, I'm looking to see what her icon is. If I can see what where she typed something.
With flat hair and her work clothes.
Flat hair and her work clothes?
Uh-huh.
There, right there. That's Mom. Oh, no, it's the big smiley face of her with the kind of orangey red background. That's where she was sitting with her knees up, and everybody thought it was her boobs. So, when you see the full picture. So, that's what Mom's looks like. And she's in blue.
What does that?
She was talking about something up there. I don't know where it went. That was a little while ago. She says it was a great message. Ellery did a good job too. A great massage. She was talking about the massage you gave her the other night. You were laying on top of Mom, rolling all around on top of her. Oh, that's going to pick that all up on the mic and make all kinds of sound in the mic, in the speakers. So careful of that. Okay, I'll trade you spots. What do you got to say? Look at the green dot up there so people know you're looking at them and tell them something. What's on your mind today? What'd you get for Christmas? What big thing did you get for Christmas?
A big horse.
A big horse? A real horse?
No.
No, a big plastic horse. What else did you get? It's got 2 wheels on it.
A big LOL puppy.
LOL puppy. What else did you get? You got something with 2 big wheels on it. And handlebars. And a seat. You ride it outside. Did you get a bike?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. How soon they forget. So, did Santa take your teeth? Asked Canadian guy, eh?
Mm-mm.
Hey, little girl, where's your teeth, eh? Whoa, careful, I got a cup of coffee here. Okay, I'm going to trade spots with you.
Nuh-uh. No.
Yeah, I am.
No.
There you go. Go watch your stuff.
Big fat turd.
Yeah, hey, you watch it. I got your remote. I got your remote. You better take that back.
Where is it?
I don't know. Some big fat turd took it. There you go. All right.
Big fat turd.
Yeah, that's right. Get out of here, big fat turd. If I'm a big fat turd, you're a little fat turd. Smart ass kid. So anyway, so there we go. I think Raini must be out at the hospital because I haven't seen anything come back from her saying hi to her daughter. Let's see. What did Bookworm said? So must have been really excited about the bike. Yeah. That's all we got yesterday all day was her trying to ride the bike in the living room. And I said, don't ride that in. There's not enough room. Well, can I take it outside? No, it's all snow and ice outside. And so it wasn't a mountain bike. It wasn't built for that. You know, it's a cute bike. It's got cute little white wheels on it and all kinds of glittery streamers. And it's pink and purple and all of that. So it's not built for riding in snow and ice. Hey, Carly. Good to see you. And Greg. Where's Greg? Greg Harrington. Good to see you, Greg. Nice to have you here this morning. So we're doing a little Christmas fallout, a little. Raini's not with us today. For those of you coming and saying, how come I'm watching Scotty? Where's Raini? We want our Raini. Well, she had to take the 9-year-old to the ER to check out her hand to see if it's broken. So what she said about Raini's pic when you were looking at her was so epic. With her flat hair and work clothes. It was work clothes. Work clothes. I'm rolling laughing. You know, that picture of Mom with her flat hair? It's actually an old picture of Raini, and I wish I could share pictures with you on this live stream, but it doesn't allow me to do that here. I wish I could. I'd show you the picture that was. It was a picture I took about 5 or 6 years ago of Raini, and she had on a button-up kind of picnicky looking shirt, you know, red and white plaid kind of, and but it was low cut and she had it tied at her midriff or something, and she was sitting and she had shorts on and she had her knees up, and so she's looking at the camera and smiling and her knees are right here in the picture, and it looks like at first glance it looks like she's boobs, and then you go, oh, those are knees. That's the picture, but you only see the close-up of her face in there. So I don't know if the whole thing shows if you open it up on her page, but there you go. Let's see. Put it on your phone and show. I could do that. Let's see if I can find it. Find that particular picture. I don't know if I have, because that's one of the older pictures. I might be able to find it, but let's see. While we're talking here, let me see. I'll see if I can find it. My password is always wrong the first time I type it on my phone. I hate my phone. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go to my Facebook, and I'm going to go to, let's see, my photos. And let's see if we can find, whoa. Oh, this one just popped up. Look at these, by the way. This is Ellery a few years ago. When was this? 3 years ago. So how about this one? There you go. Look at that. It's when she was being fairly tribal. I don't know if you can make it out because the lighting kind of affects it, but can you see the fingers? There you go. She put a hand print on her face and then smeared it all around. So that's what I have to contend with this one that was just in here. So that's at least in there. But I wanted to find a photo of my wife. So let's see if I can find it here. I've got to look into my photos section. And into the section of pictures about Raini. We'll see if they're in here. This particular one. In my albums. We'll see if it's there. We'll see how fast this goes this morning. So let's see. Photos. I'm scrolling through my albums. I know this is riveting talk for Sunday morning. And we've already lost one person. probably because I'm looking for stuff. But photos with the kids, Lynn and Rowan. Here's Raini and Rowan. That's not it. Oh, is that it? Is it in here? Nope, wrong one. This is this is a picture of Raini and the small child, but it's not the picture I'm looking for. But it was like one of these shots, you know. And the light is so bright, I got to turn it so you can actually. That's Ellery and Raini. So I think that's Ellery. Yep. No, that's Rowan. So that's got to be about 5-6 years old. That's about the same time period, and it washes it out in here. I don't know if it's if I can turn off a light. Nope, doesn't show up any better. So, but that's that little grouping of photos with Raini and the children. So it was a shot like one of those, you know, and only her knees were up. And that's what it looked like. I'm going to see if I can find the photo still, since I'm in here. See what we got. It would be that era, about 5 or 6 years ago. A bunch of Egyptian stuff in here. All Egypt. Oh, and if you've never met her, by the way, this is John Ward's wife. This is when we took the trip and my daughters came along when we all went to Egypt to retrace John's and my our trip from the year before. But there's John's wife, Maria Nilsson, Dr. Maria Nilsson. Now, she's wearing my hat there, but you can't see it. I hate what the light does. I can't... do I have the phone too bright? Is it... let's see. Hold on. If I lessen the intensity of the screen, will it show up any better? Let's find out. Is that any better? There you go. It's a little bit. That's Dr. Maria Nilsson. That's she's actually the head of the archaeological mission. There she is. And again, there it is. That's a little better. That's Dr. Maria Nilsson. And so that just happened to be right there. So since I've talked about them a lot on this show and other shows, I'm not seeing a good one of my wife, though. And not that shot. Here's one that's similar. Oh, nope, not again. Just sitting and reading, studying. So it was again, it was a shot kind of like that, except it was her knees. So these are all on my Facebook. You can scroll through. There's some albums of her. The Raini, the album is called, in my shots, all my albums, and there's probably a picture of it in there. So take one more look. There was one I did not open. One of the folders that might have it. I don't know for sure if this is it. No, that's not it. It's got Egyptian pictures in there. It's got other pictures. Nope, not the one I wanted. So, here, there's Raini when she's pregnant with, who's in the oven in this one? This is 2014. So she's pregnant. She's wearing her Alice in Wonderland shirt with Johnny Depp on it. But that's Raini when she was pregnant with Ellery. She's about 6 months pregnant there. So that's all I got. That shot is somewhere in the mix. It's lost in all my photo albums. So there you go. Blah, blah, blah. So let's see. Sean Bowden says, no kid for a full week. First time in 4 years. I'm lonely, confused, and what to do. You know, Sean, I've been there. When I had custody of my kids grew up with me, my 3 older kids, Abby, Bryn, and Sam, my twin daughters, and Sam, who turns 20 in about a week. And they would, on rare occasions, they would go to their mom's for a week at a shot, spring break, stuff like that. And I was a little lost without my kids around, because we'd get up every morning, make breakfast, they'd go to school, we'd hang all the time, we'd do everything together. And then they were gone for a week. And sometimes it was like, this is great. I've got the house. It's quiet. And other times it was like, okay, day 2. Where's my kids? So there you go. I was DX with thyroid cancer in April and had surgery in May. Mind over matter. Every thought counts for me. Absolutely, Melissa. I hope you're doing well. How's that going? If you want to give us an update on that. So, Sean, Kaysen turns 8 tomorrow. Yeah, my kids at the time when I first had them, when I got them, Abby and Bryn were 10 and Sam was 1. So that's when my kids all came to live with me full time. Learning lessons late in life, says Melissa. Yeah, doesn't that seem to be the case? Since we get older, we learn things. What we were supposed to do, weren't supposed to do. Where we should have turned left and we should have turned right. And but growing older doesn't have to be regretful. But here's the thing too. Even if we think we know what's going to happen to us in the afterlife, we still don't know. We still don't know what's going on there. Are we going to heaven? Is there a hell? Is there a some kind of afterlife that's in a different spiritual connotation than we understand now? Is there nothing? Is there nothingness? That's it. This life we live, we're done. Boom, gone. I don't think that's the case, but lots of alternative therapists have elected not to take the radioactive pill. I understand that. I know a couple of people who are doing that right now. That's life. It's funny, for all that we think we know about expanding life and living longer and so on, we still all die. We still all have stuff. We still all have to contend with viruses, with diseases, with terminal diseases that we're fighting against and trying things. As far as I know, I don't have anything like that going on. I wonder some days. It's like a cough. I've had a dry cough for months and months and months, if not years. I remember somebody back before I was dating Raini, 15, 16, 17 years ago, very concerned about me because I had a dry cough all the time. And I thought it was because I smoked, but I've got that same dry cough now. And it's not all the time. You hear me do it on the radio on occasion. And something will catch me if I talk too long and I don't wet my throat. I get a dry cough. And so do I go in and get that checked out? I've had it for 20 years. What does that mean? So I agree with you, Melissa. You can't rush it. You just do it. You just go. So I know, Carly, you've been going through a lot of stuff too. So Niall says, Matt, Blackfoot Marauder, 1982, blasting that now. Southern rock metal album. Half the band were Native American and Ricky went on Skinnerd. There you go. Some of that stuff I've heard. So it's older stuff. I've heard it. I don't listen to it as a regular thing, though. I listen to different kinds of music. So been a while, says Matt on that. Death in all shapes and forms seems to have become monetized and itself become such a business. Without the business of death, how long might we live? Asks Roger. It's a good question. So what do you all think about that? We kind of hit on that very briefly. And Kevin Miller, sorry, I couldn't find that exact picture. Maybe if I go to her YouTube channel, I could find it now that my mind's back on that, jumping all over the place. But let me just see if I can actually find her on YouTube. Raini Roberts. Let's see if I can find that picture. And if she's got it just reduced to a headshot, see, it comes up Renee Roberts. Roberts. Comes up Renee. Nope. Doesn't want to come up. I don't know. She's got herself listed as Raini Roberts, right? Is it Raini L. Roberts or just Raini Roberts? Or I don't know. I got to go find her here. Maybe I can click on her and find her profile. There it is. Let's see if we can get to her profile. I want to go to a different window, though. I don't want to do it in this window and cut off my broadcast. It doesn't let me do it. I can copy the image address. I can search Google for the image. I can copy the image. But if I click on her, I think I'm going to end up being out of this window and my broadcast will come to an abrupt end. So now you can look her up and find out. Look up Raini Roberts. Yeah, I'd like to do that, but not in this channel. Look up new shows, personalized suggestions from the web, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to do that right now because, well, if I hit continue, what happens to my radio broadcast? Nothing. It just looks it up, blah, blah, blah. Dictionary definition of Raini Roberts. So, yeah, you'll have to go to her thing, Bookworm, and that's why we still need a huge photo album books. Yeah, that's right. You know, I did one up for her not long ago. Hey, Ellery, bring me that big photo book of Mom, please. The one that's over by the TV somewhere. That's sitting up. For a birthday for Raini a couple of years ago, I did one of those big photo books. And it wasn't cheap. I think it cost me about $120 to get this done, but I didn't want them to just flow the pictures for me, so I created images for every page. It's out under the TV, isn't it? Leaning up against, unless Mom moved it. Could be on the green stand there, the bookshelf. So I did one of those, Kevin, Bookworm. I was looking at Carly and I said, Carl. Hang on, guys. I'm going to go get it. Hold on. Let's see if it's, unless Mom put it up somewhere. Let's see if it's out here. Okay. People are looking at your kneecaps, you know. There you go.
I'm wearing pants.
Yes, you are. Can't find it. Raini moved it. It was there for a year, and she moved it. So, but you can get those nice photo books done. I didn't see it. You can look for it if you want. Bring it here if you find it. But it's a great gift. I took photos of Raini and I from when we were dating all the way up through every one of the kids. And I put this book together for her. And it was pretty early on. Had to be about 3-4 years ago. There's not as much Ellery as there is Flynn and Rowan. And some of my kids and my older kids are in there. But as you know, Raini came into this marriage when I already had 3 kids. Raini came into our lives in 2005. And that would have made my daughters 13. And my son Sam was 4 when Raini came on the scene. And so she came on. Oh, I didn't know what my daughter was doing. I can see her all the way down the hall into the living room. She's standing on the back of the sofa doing ballet moves. So she's the next one to fall and knock out another tooth. Which is how both my daughters have lost teeth prematurely, their front teeth. They did swan dives off of something because they were doing something that they thought was acrobatic, and they knocked out their teeth. So let's see. Happy Twixmas from England, Scotty, says Helene Moody. Good to see you, Helene. Thank you very much. Beautiful family. May 2021 bless us all with peace, justice, compassion, and more love. Triple X. Thank you, Helene. Sorry, I'm looking because my kid's doing something down the hall. And I'm the only one here with her, monitoring her every move. So thank you, Helene. It's nice to see you here. Thanks for coming in. We're just talking this morning. We don't have much going on here. Just talking like we normally do. Sunday mornings is not... What?
Lucy had a box on her head.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So she's got the dog with a box over her head. I'm sure the dog is loving that. Yesterday was Boxing Day. So anyway, that's all we do on Sunday mornings. For those of you who are new here or haven't been here throughout this show's pretty much just, there's not much for topics. Sometimes I come in with kind of a loose idea of topics I want to throw off of you and get your feedback. Like we're talking about the afterlife a bit this morning. Pretty common topic. But just curious what you all have thought about the afterlife. What's your personal belief? Where are you going to go in your afterlife? Are you going to go nowhere? Is there a nowhere? Is it a limbo of some kind? Is it religiously based? Is it spiritually based, which doesn't have to be religious? You have an idea of what the next life, the great beyond, is going to be for you. And so it's something to think about. I want to get your input. So it's not like our normal shows. I can't wait to get to tomorrow's show on Intrepid Radio, because we're going to hit back into Enoch and the Great Pyramid, where we kind of left off on Friday. No, it was Thursday, because Friday was Christmas. We did a live show for Christmas on Friday. So Niall says, regrets and growing older go hand in hand. Anyone who tells you anything else is living in denial. Well, I think we all have regrets. I would say, Niall, that I'm not just trying to contradict you. I look at things and I don't have a lot of regrets. I have a few. I have things that I wish I would have done differently. Is that a regret? Is that a regret for the way I've lived my life? Is that just musing back? We go back over our lives and we say, would I have done this thing differently? How many of you, if you had the opportunity to go back in time, I know fanciful, irrelevant, because it's never going to happen, but how many of you, if you had the ability to go back in time, would go back and change something about yourself or change a decision that you made? Now, I've got a lot of those. I've got a whole racked up list of decisions that if I could go back knowing what I know now, I might have done something differently. I go back to hurting somebody's feelings when I was in college. Somebody that I had asked it to come as a date to the big homecoming thing. And then and we went to different schools, and so we didn't see each other every day. We weren't a dating couple, but she was all excited and happy about that. Now, remember, the context was different. I went to a Bible college, and I went to a place where if a guy asks a woman out, it's usually because he wants to look at them for a mate, because he's going to go into the ministry or do something. That's the kind of setting we were in. But I met somebody else in the process. I was just a 17-year-old kid. What did I know? Going on 18. And got involved, and I thought, oh, what am I going to do now? Because I've got this girl I asked, and so I unasked her. And she was upset about that. And I thought, now I talked to her years later. I bumped into her, and I said, I want to talk to you. And I said, I want to make a little amends for something I did when I was a dumb, stupid 18-year-old. And I treated you badly. I didn't mean to treat you badly, but I did something bad, and I'm still embarrassed by it. And she really appreciated me talking to her. And I said, you know what? I said I was a jerk. And now I said I wouldn't do that now if my life counted for it. I said, because I think differently, and I know the world a little better. And so I'm so sorry that I acted the way I acted when I was a kid. Is that a regret that I did the original thing? Yeah, I regretted that as I got older. Is that a life regret? No, it's a situational regret. Things that you go back and you say, I wish I could undo the stupidity that I've done over life. As I've mentioned on this show before, and some of you know this, 11 years ago, I cheated on Raini. And now I didn't have a sexual relationship with somebody, but I allowed myself to fall in love with somebody because Raini and I were having problems, and I justified it because of that. I justified my actions. And now this other person and I, we stopped it before it went any further. We just said, I said, I can't do this. And she said, I can't either. You're a married guy. And we called it quits, but Raini found out about it still. And I've mentioned this before. I talked about this before. It's a big topic. Is that a regret of mine? That's a huge regret of mine, that I ever cheated on Raini. And I cheated by getting into an emotional affair with somebody. And it was a long distance affair. Had it not been long distance, it might have ended up being more than that. And I'm glad it didn't go there. But I've spent pretty much 11 years of my life being thankful I have my wife, and thankful that she could have walked and she didn't. And and this affair was right around the time Flynn was born. So you add that dimension to it. I was a jerk. I fell in love with somebody else because I took the problems that Raini and I were having and I elevated them to eclipse everything else. And I justified my not wanting to be with her anymore and wanting to fall in love with somebody else. That's the affair. I've spoken of that at least a couple of times before over the last couple of years here, whether you guys remember that or not. So I don't have any problem with, I don't have secrets. I don't hide things in my closet. It's just something I don't talk about a lot. Audrey, you got to run. See ya. I missed that when you said it. You have a hungry man standing here staring at you, wanting to go out to eat. So have a lovely day and big hugs to you, Raini and the kiddos. Same to you. Have fun. You're probably gone. You probably didn't see that. So you have a wonderful Sunday. Have a good time out. So there are regrets that I have. Did that action on my part change my relationship with my wife forever? Yeah, there's probably things that will never fully heal in our relationship. Things that my wife will always have in the back of her head. Hey, he was able to do this once, even though 11 years have gone by. I think it's softened a bit, but I'll bet you would ask my wife if she wants to think about that in any great detail. That pain is easily brought up. And I caused that. My regret is that I ever did that. And I wish I could go back and undo that. Would our relationship and things about our marriage and family be any different now if I hadn't done the things I did 11 years ago? I don't know. We'll never know that. Trust is hard to get back. I don't think Raini thinks I'm going to go out and do anything like that again. I really don't think she thinks that. But the trust was broken. So what do you do to regain that trust? And especially at the time, I didn't so much feel I was breaking trust. I justified my actions. So you justify things, and all of a sudden you're capable of doing anything that ends up ruining things. And so we came very close to not being together. And Steph says, I wrestle with the belief that you can love more than one person at a time. Each touch you emotionally differently and fulfill needs others don't fulfill. I get that, and I understand that. Are we meant to be monogamous? Those questions all come up. But we've chosen to be monogamous. I made a vow to my wife. I broke that vow. And so I have stitched that back together as best I can. Now it was a little rougher that first couple of years, of course. But now we're 11 years out from that. Thank God. I'm glad a decade has passed. Where will it stand a decade from now? And so on and so forth. So I believe my wife loves me, and I know I love my wife. And so, you see us here. We're pretty much who we are, as what we express here. So let's see, gone for more education, but I can do that now. I would try to hurt less feelings too. Yeah, ain't that the truth, Beth? We try to hurt less feelings, hurt less people. Maybe that's one of the things I learned the older I get, is how self-focused I've been. And, I went off and I worked for 5 months away from the home 2 years ago. I don't think Raini ever thought that I was ever going to get involved with anybody else. I think that had all passed. That was fine. But our relationship was still not perfect. Even when did I go? 2.5 years ago. And yet I came back and that helped our relationship a bit. It made us realize how much we didn't like the distance. Now I have another opportunity like that coming up where I can go to Louisiana in January. And the guy that kind of got me into that roofing thing a few years ago, and I was gone for 5 months in Wyoming and Utah, he wants me to come and work for his company now. He started his own company. So it's going to be a lot better than the other company you were at. You could make a lot of money down here. Come on down. So I might go, field guy might be in your neck of the woods in January, February, March, maybe even April. And see if I can do some good down there and stash some money away to go into maybe buying our land and our house. And Raini said, go, if you can go and do enough so that we can get put a nice down payment on some property and a house. Let's do it. Go do it. And I hate the idea of being away from home. I don't like it. It's not my thing. Niall says 850,000 people commit suicide every year, and they do it to end emotional pain mostly. And I wonder how many actually think that they may end up in a worse place. Most assume it's an end to things. Yeah, I think most people don't think that far in advance. I know there's some theologies, like Roman Catholic theology, doesn't that say if you commit suicide, you go screaming into the fires of hell? Now, I don't know exactly that that's how it's stated, but you don't go to heaven, according to Roman Catholic theology. So what happens when somebody who is Roman Catholic commits suicide? Does that mean they don't believe that, or they don't care about that, or the emotional crisis that they're in eclipses that? I think the reality of what we believe about the afterlife can be displayed in our actions and our attitudes about death, about suicide, about the way we live. It's never an end. You just come back repeating worse till they learn their life's lessons. See, and that's another one, Carl. That's another view of what happens. We come back repeatedly. What's the whole thing I heard that in that eternal existence, you decide, I'm going to go back and this time I'm going to commit suicide, or this time I'm going to be poor, or this time I'm going to be rich, or I'm going to be an oppressor, or I'm going to be an artist, whatever it might be. I don't know how much of that I buy, even though I can say it sounds right. It sounds like it makes sense, but you can't prove any of that to me. You can't prove that exists. You can't prove heaven exists or hell exists or God exists. You can't prove that there's an afterlife. You can't prove that there is reincarnation. We have things that kind of look like it. It's kind of like the election. You can't prove any of that happened, but there's people who know for damn sure that there was fraud. How do you prove that if there's no way to prove it? How do you know something, quote unquote, if you can't prove it? You believe it by faith. You believe it because all the circumstances all around something look like it's the formula is there for that to be that way. What makes you believe what you believe? And why do you believe what you believe? Morgan Snow, I told my hubby when he was dying that he was going on another journey. Yeah. You know, when my grandfather died, right, Beth? Nobody knows. Nobody knows nothing. And so you use your, as Beth said earlier, common sense. Common sense has to apply to everything. You can express beliefs about something, but you can't. How can you live on a belief that you don't know is actually real? You can't. You have to live by common sense. Common sense has to rule and dictate. That's why we used to have as our radio show when Rocky and I were doing radio. Never smarter than common sense was our tagline for our political talk radio show. Never smarter than common sense. And so even when we went to the far right of something or the far left of something, we said, now there is the belief, but we have to temper that with common sense. What makes common sense? To me, I'm just going to state this here now. When I look at the election, and I've talked about there, I think there may have been funny monkey business going on with the election. Too many anomalies. Can I prove that? No. Does common sense say different? Yeah. But common sense also tells me I know enough about government and how people have worked in governments for thousands of years. And you tell me that a stolen election is something that's way and wacky and out there, especially when all these other anomalies are there. I think the election may have been tampered with, but can't prove it. So I live with what is. You have to live by common sense. So I don't know, you don't know, we don't know. That's exactly it, Beth. When we don't know something, what do you do? Roger says, I wonder if the lack of all that proof, the forever unknown, that feeling itself, the crossing of reality to faith itself, is that the line, the true so-called veil? Is that what the veil is? You have to cross over. I have always said too, if God is an omnipotent God, like we are taught in religious circles, talk Judeo-Christian circles, God is this all-knowing, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, all-knowing, wonderful, loving, holy God. Yet he will hold his creation, according to that theology, accountable to things that he knows. Omniscience, all-knowing, all-present. And because we don't have those, we just have to have faith that he is telling us the right thing. Yet we have no proof that he even exists in the form that we're taught. I think there's an originator, a creator. Is he what Judeo-Christianity teaches us? We don't know. There's no way to prove that. But you believe it by faith. Well, why would I believe by faith something that supposedly houses my eternal import? The most important thing about this life is the afterlife and where we're going according to that religious structure and that theology. Yet we're not given any proof that it really exists in that form. We're taught that that's the way it is. So that's my difficulty with that. So Matt Finn says, if you do the math, you probably could prove it, at least to yourself. I think that's what a lot of us do. Matt, I think we do the math for ourselves and we prove it. We live by something. Oh, that phrase, we live by something, reminds me of that song of Michael Card's where he said, in the ebb and flow of living, as we wander through the years, we're told to listen to a voice that we can't hear with our ears. We say we live by something. Is there really any purpose to this foolish exercise? I don't remember all the words. And this was a song, and he was a Christian songwriter. And it's talking about living by faith. Election fraud, said Matt Finn. If you do the math, yeah, election fraud, I agree with you. If you do the math, it doesn't work. There was something went on. The problem with, I think, the election is that it would have to presuppose that there is something in place and people in place that would change numbers, that would change all of that. Well, and like you say, if you do the math, people say, well, why was it only in certain states? It was in the certain states where it counted. That's why. So you look at that stuff and you have to ask the questions. And I've come up with the answer that, yeah, it certainly looks by the numbers that there was something fraudulent that went on. I think another fraud that's being perpetrated on us, and it takes faith to believe, is that Joe Biden actually won the election. It takes a lot of faith, I think, to believe that that's the truth. I think people have given up on common sense to believe that that's the way this actually turned out. How Joe Biden got millions more, tens of millions more votes than Obama did. How Donald Trump got something like 12 million to 14 million more votes than Obama did when he was reelected. And he still lost. Okay. There's something anomalous about that. That's where you start looking at what I said to my daughter last night when we were talking about coronavirus and how I don't believe the virus was a hoax, but I believe the hoax was that it was being used in politics to create a certain end in the election and in other things. So you look at all of that, you have to put common sense together and say, There's something up with that. But all of that's an aside. That's not so much what we're talking about. We're not talking politics, not talking the election here. I am talking about faith, though, what you believe about what's on the other side. Corey, you'd be a good person to ask now that you're here. Welcome to the show, by the way, brother. And good to see you. We're talking a little bit off and on, in and amongst other things, because Raini's not here today. What do you feel about death? What's on the other side? And I'm asking everybody, what do you think is there? I don't think there's anything on the other side of death that any of us can prove. That's the problem with it. Whatever we believe, we hold to by faith. And all we know for sure is that this form dies. This shell dies. Our energy goes on. Well, so science tells us. So science tells us that energy doesn't dissipate. Where does it go? And what's contained in that energy? Is my personality retained in the energy of me after I die? Does my personality die when my brain dies? Or is that part of the soul? We can't even prove that a soul exists. We can prove that energy exists. Has science ever been able to trace that energy once it leaves the body to somewhere else, though? To be able to prove, okay, scientifically, scientific method, here's where we are. Here's where that person went. Here's what's retained of themselves after they die. We don't know that. Nobody knows that. Voting by mail opened up voting to citizens that would have been disenfranchised. See, and I don't think they would have been disenfranchised. I just think they were too lazy to go out and vote. They used the coronavirus to do that. Did you? One thing that kind of proved to me the fallaciousness of go out and vote because of the coronavirus was stay home, send in your mail-in voting. That wasn't for the coronavirus. That wasn't to keep anybody safe from contracting the virus. That was to get votes. Bottom line, pure and simple. It was a political maneuver. It was where coronavirus was politicized to get people to stay at home and vote by mail. And they tried to shove the voting by mail down everybody's throat at the last minute. But then, did you notice what disproved it for me? That it was sincere? Was when it came down to within a week of the election, the same people were saying, your vote counts and don't try to mail in your vote now. It won't make it in time. Go out to the polls and make sure you vote. Well, all of a sudden, now it doesn't matter if you go out to the polls and vote. Go ahead, risk coronavirus now if you didn't get a chance to cast your vote by mail. So now it's no longer about safety. It's still about casting your vote for them. That's what proved to me that it was fake. And that there was no sincerity behind, protect yourself from coronavirus and vote by mail. Bullshit. That's my take on it. No offense to you, Beth, for thinking differently, if you think differently than that. Elderly, rural, poor, those with no transportation. You know what? You got 4 years to prep for voting day. If you're rural, do we not have voting machines and voting stations in rural America? We got mail. If you got mail, you got a place to vote. The post office. This is the thing that I'm saying. This is responsibility. It's not like, the election snuck up there tomorrow. I'm poor. I'm infirmed. I'm elderly. I can't move. I don't have a car. Did you not know this 4 years ago? Did you not make preparations to go out and cast your vote? Or to vote by proxy? Or to absentee ballot your vote? You still have to go out to do that. This is the stuff that voting by mail should be the norm. If there's a way to verify it, yeah. Signature verification. I think we should have voter ID. If we got to have an ID to drive a car, we better damn well have an ID to vote. And something that, if not electronically, that there is some fashion to show that you are alive and voting and you can cast one vote and that it counts. If there's a way to do that, I'm okay with mail-in voting. Make it electronic voting. You could get on the computer, instead of go on Facebook, take the first 5 minutes to go in and cast your vote. When they go, okay, polls are now open, go vote. We can't do that. We don't have the technology to do that. Hell, I can't even keep Facebook from banning me for 3 days because I put up a post they didn't like. If they can do that to me, do you think we don't have the ability to vote by computer, digitally, and a way to verify that we are who we are when we cast that vote? So you are right, Steph. They changed their tune. So Carly says, let's get back to the life beyond death. No more politics. Politics, the way I view it is politics. I don't like talking politics. I can argue a good piece when it comes to politics. I have my points of view when it comes to politics. I have my points of view on the direction the nation is heading on the basis of certain kinds of politics. So I could talk a blue streak about politics. I rather like to house them in talking about current events, things that affect all of us, things that mean something to all of us. Does the outcome of the election mean something to us all? Is it important to know? Yeah, that's the way I try to house it. But yeah, let's move off of being political at all, and let's get into let's get back to that whole life after death thing. Putting someone else in control of your ballot gives them the control to disenfranchise you. I believe that, Matt. I don't like that. I don't like being brought under by the power of any. Might as well have a monarchy, if that's the case. If I don't really have a say in my vote, let's have somebody else. Let's go back to God Save the King, God Save the Queen. Old song about the American Revolution that somebody wrote. One of these bands, we used to do the reenacting. We did the 42nd Royal Highlanders in the French and Indian War to the Rev War period in America, the mid 1700s. And we talked about all of this stuff. And we had music that was played by folk bands. One of their songs was Fire. I can't remember it. It's so long ago, but it was a very solemn song. And they were talking about the loyalists that lived in America. This is a Canadian folk band. Tanglefoot was the name. And they would play this. There'd be a lot of voyageur type of stuff going on at these events we'd go to, these big 4-day events where you were outside and pitched your tent and you all reenacted living history. And the public would come in and people would sell their goods and we put on shows for them and stuff like that, demonstrations. And we had our red-coated troupe there, and this band would play. Fire and Guns is the name of the song. Go look it up. Tanglefoot, Fire and Guns. And if you look up the lyrics of that, Fire and Guns, Tanglefoot. And the lyrics. Let's see if I can look that up. I got to make sure this is not my wife texting me because I keep getting texts coming in. Here you hear them now, one after another on my phone. And it is not my wife. Oh, hold on. We have a reservation at 4 at 11 a.m., which is 10 minutes from now, at Pedro's Lounge in Hudson. Hang on. We are running way behind. Raini is at the ER with our daughter. Hold on, folks. Sorry to do this to you during the radio show. Hold on.
Dad?
Yeah. Did you break your hand?
No, but I sprained my hand.
That's what I thought. It's a sprain, guys.
Look.
Very nice. Here, show everybody. Let me find our picture. There you go. There, you got a little brace going here. Let's turn on some light so people can actually see it.
Smallest one they had.
Let's see. There you go. So you sprained your hand. That's what I thought. You might have sprained it. All right. Well, Raini and I are supposed to be out to brunch with somebody here in the next 10 minutes.
Where am I going?
So,
Where am I going?
Just hold on. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. So, so I just texted him to let him know that. So,
did anybody line them up a babysitter, or we gotta take them with us?
Nope. Let me finish up here, and then we'll talk. So, guys, I'm gonna have to go figure this out because we're supposed to be somewhere to meet somebody, and we're running behind. And Raini just got back from the ER. She got a sprained wrist, or hand or something. So there you go. We'll pick this all up again. And we'll talk about this in a little bit. And so let me wrap this up and go because I've got daughter needing my time here. So guys, this is a quick abrupt end to the show after talking. Gotta go take care of a few things. So we will see you a little bit later tomorrow, all week long, Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. West Coast. Here's Raini anyway. Come on over and say hi for the last couple of minutes.
Hi and bye.
That light down. And so there you go. I'm going to turn that off. It's just too damn bright. There you go. Okay.
Ow.
So Raini's here, and now we got to go.
Yeah.
So everybody, thanks for being here. We got stuff to do. And things to do that we got to take care of. It's been a couple of hours, so we got to roll. So we'll talk to you very soon. All right. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow. Ending the stream now. Bye.